Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to be here because today we will talk with you about my fall TBR, the books which I wanna read this fall. I decided not to do my TBR for every month for September, October and November. I decided to make the global variant of my fall TBR. So today I will tell you about 10 books, but it doesn't mean that I will read only them. Also, I wanted to give me a free space for choosing another books which I wanted to read, and probably a lot of mystics, a lot of thrillers, and of course a lot of wonderful stories about some shivering moments. So today I will tell you about 10 books, and these 10 books so wonderful thing for me because I wanted to read them for a long of time. I wanted some of them to try in summer, but I decided to make them in fall TBR for making me more sure that I will like them. So let's start today with the first one. It's Hidden Pictures, and the story which a lot of people have read and told that it's a wonderful story for fall because it's so gloomy, it's so dark, and it's probably have some mystery things there. Story talks us about young girl who decided to have a job after a bad period in her life, and she wanted to be a nanny, and she tries to find the job. Of course she found it, and she will go to the family with a small boy. In the first moment she will start to think that the boy is so wonderful and creative because he is so in love in drawing, and he draws a lot. Every time in a day he spent time with the drawings, and she decided to look at his pictures, and in one moment she started to understand that something wrong with these pictures because in some of them she can see the strange girl, and in another one a scene of crime, and she decided to have a chance to find the answers for the questions because she can't understand is it real or not. Probably it's just imagination of the boy, or probably it was happened in reality and something happened with the girl. The second book is a Song of Susannah. It's the seventh book of Dark Tower of Stephen King, and I'm in love with the Susan like a character. It's the character which really involves you in the reading part, and we had a big plot about her life, so it was really great, and I'm sure that A Song of Suzanne will be great for reading in fall because the last part about the Wolves of Color was finishing in exactly a wonderful thing, and I think and I hope that A Song of Suzanne will be the continuation. So I'm in love with Dark Tower. I told you a lot of time about this one. I'm so comfortable in the story, I'm so comfortable with these characters and with the world. So actually I'm a bit of upset that I just have only 2 books left, and the Dark Tower series would be finished. So the next story is Brom, Slewfoot. I read a lot of books of Brom, and I'm really fan of his stories because I like his writing style. It's so gloomy, dark, it's so mystery, and most of the time you have some monsters, some gods, some other creatures, and most of the time you have a shivering actually on your back. So the story Slowfoot will take us to the 17th century in America with the main character, with the girl, and she would have some problems with the people in her village because people will start to think that she is a witch, and then one day in the forest she will find a strange creature, Slowfoot, and she wouldn't know what to do with this one. And I hope that Brom will give us a really atmospheric idea about meeting the girl with the creature. I really expected to have a wonderful gloomy descriptions of forest, of this small village, and of course people, because I like how Brom write characters. Most of the time a lot of them so annoying, a lot of people so bad, and you actually really have irritating things during the reading. So I just expect in the moment when I will take this book, because I'm sure that Brom will give me a wonderful atmosphere, a wonderful story, and of course a wonderful illustrations, because Brom, he is an artist and he likes to do his own illustrations to his stories. The next one which I want to read is Luckenbooth. It's a Jen Fagann story which I heard a lot of, and it's so wonderful for fall because actually about the covering it's so fall mood. So I think that the story would be really great because also we have here a main character, a girl, her name is Jessie, and we would be at 90th stands in Edinburgh, and in annotation we have the news that the Jessie is the devil's daughter, and in one moment her father will send her with some deal to the one house, and after some bad things which happened there, she decided to make curse on this building and everything would be wrong. So I'm sure I will like this story because I like stories about devils, about daughters, about some fantasy moments which connect with this theme, and I hope that I will read this soon, especially somewhere outside with a cup of coffee, I think, and I hope it would be really great. So actually we will have here people who will live in this building and they will have this curse from this girl and something will happen with them and they will try to connect with each other and give them some stories of their lives. So I hope it would be really cool. The next story is Haruki Murakami and Kirin Commendatore, story which is so wonderful by annotation, and I hope that it would be great for fall. Story talks us about the artist from Japan, and after some period he started to think that he is not so good in his masterpieces. He just tired about this one because he wanted to make wonderful pictures, but for making money he just need in the must do some portraits, and he doesn't like to make some portraits, and he decided to cancel these things. So and after some period of time he decided to relax and go to remote cottage somewhere in the mountain, in the forest, for just chilling and understanding what he wants to do next in his life, with his job, with his portraits. Does he wanted to do them again, or just he wanted to be like an artist for making some pictures? And in one moment he decided to look around in this house and just he tried to find something new for himself, because he knows that this house was for another artist who lived there a lot of years ago, a lot of time there. He made a lot of wonderful pictures and he also was an artist. And after some moments he just go into the attic and found a wonderful picture, killing Commendatore, and he just can't understand why this wonderful picture just in an attic nobody have seen there, because he was interested in the pictures of this artist, but he never found some information about this picture. The next story which I wanted to tell you that I will read in fall, it would be The Casual Vacancy. J.K. Rowling, it's the author of Harry Potter series. I love Harry Potter. I'm a fan of all of books, but most of the time I love the fourth, The Goblet of Fire, and I think it's a really great book for me, especially for reading, because I like quests, I love some competitions, I like dragons. So in this story I have everything which I really like. So a casual vacancy would be a story about the small village where would be a vacancy, and a lot of people will have a chance and wish to be on this vacancy for some reasons. But also will tell you that something wrong with this small village. People actually don't like themselves, families not so happy, and everything's go wrong there. And of course they like cheating, they like gossiping about each other. So I hope this would be a wonderful story about the small village, because I'm really fan of stories of villages, of small cities, and I really enjoy reading about people's bad things which they can do for living near with other people, especially when they like gossiping and they like, you know, sometimes like snakes. Next one, Amber Garza and A Mother Would Know, a thriller about old lady which start to have the problems with her memory, and in one moment she will ask her son to start to live with her because she needs help, she needs support, she needs other things which connect with her in her illness. And in one moment something bad happened, and of course it would be murder, and a lot of people around the house of our main character would start to think that it probably her son did. Why? Because a lot of years ago something happened also bad with the person who lived near with their house, and of course the son was in the moment when the person started to be injured. So I like stories of Amber Garza. I read 2 of them and I was in love with the style of writing, about the atmosphere, about the small villages and cities which your main character like to write. Here we also would be in a small town with different people, and we will have think about the neighborhood, because our main main character will be in struggling with neighbors who live near with her about the things which happened a lot of years ago, plus the new murder. The next story which I wanna read is David Bell and Somebody I Used to Know. The story will tell us about main character who will go to the grocery store for buying some products, and in one moment he will see the lady who just remind him a lady who died a lot of years ago from the college, his girlfriend, and he will start to think that it's she because she looks the same. But after the moment when he tries to speak with her, to connect with her, to ask the question about who is she, the lady just started to be nervous and just ran away. After some period, the police knocked to the door to our main character with information about this lady which he saw in the grocery store, and with the information that she was dead and she was found dead. So what happened, nobody knows, but our main character will start to think that something wrong here, and he will try to find the answer for the secret of why this lady looks the same like the lady who died 20 years ago. So I love the stories about some secrets, about some old secrets, and about the moments like in this annotation when one person looks exactly like another person who died a lot of years ago. I hope it would be a really cool story for fall, and actually I'm in love with the covering, so look it up. The next one is the Radleys, Matt Haig. It would be my first meeting with the author, and I have great expectation about his stories. I had tons of wonderful reviews and wonderful words about his stories, especially about Radleys, because the story, which would be really great for fall because it's about vampires, and also a look at the covering, and I like these bottles of milk and a bottle of blood. And I know that Matt Haig likes to give us a lot of philosophical ideas about everything, about families, about other connection with the people. So I hope the story would be like this one, and I will enjoy it because I also have another one book of this author on my shelf. It's The Humans. So, and I hope it would be next in my reading list. And the last story which I wanted to read this fall, it's Billy Summers. It's one of the last stories of Stephen King's, and actually I have an idea, and I had an idea to read his books just like his bibliography, just year by year, but I understood after reading some books of Dark Tower that I wanted to read something new from this author, and I decided to read Billy Summers because it's not connected with the Dark Tower, because as you know, and if you're a fan of the author's book, you know that a lot of books connect with ideas of Dark Tower, and we have some moments which connect, some themes, and so on. So I decided to take Billy Summers because it talks about the person, a killer who just have the last deal, and he need to go in a small remote town for finding the person which he need to kill, and of course he will spend a lot of time in this town with the preparation for these things, and of course with the idea that he need to do it and for what, and why he decided to take this last deal, because he understood that he doesn't want to do it anymore. And I'm sure that Stephen King would give me a lot of descriptions of this person, of the people who live in this town, a lot of other moments which I really love in his stories, atmosphere. I hope that atmosphere would be great, and for me Billy Summers would be one of the best books which I have read from the list of Stephen King's books which I want to read. I told you today about 10 great stories which I wanted to read this fall. I have really great expectation about starting day of having these stories, and I haven't decided from what story I want to start this fall. So I'm in love with all these stories, and I'm sure that I will spend a lot of great time with them. Also, give me some of your recommendations about fall reading, which stories you like, which stories you have read from my list. Probably you wanted to read something with me, and I will really appreciate your recommendations of another stories which you wanted to share with me. Thank you for watching my videos, and bye!